Good morning. I wanted to be mindful of your time, so I'd like to start. They say artificial intelligence is the future. If that's true, let me demystify it for you. Get ready to go on to a journey into the world of artificial intelligence. It's like science fiction without the aliens, yet. Who am I? I am Jackie Harrison. I work for HRSD. You may have seen Jamie Hobart present. I've been in IT a really long time. When I started IT, the history books were more like a pamphlet. I've probably been in IT longer than most of you have been alive, sad to say. But I am not a total geek, and I'd like to explain to you about AI because I am so excited about AI. This is the greatest thing since a PC. It will improve your productivity, and people will think you are so smart. I wanted to go through where to find ChatGPT. If anybody has their computers and want to sign up for an account, you can while I'm talking. How to understand a little bit about ChatGPT, what exactly it is and what it isn't. I have a whole lot of examples. I also want to go over the ethics and how to stay current. Where to find ChatGPT? There's the site. It's developed by OpenAI. There are 3 versions of ChatGPT. One is a free version. It's great for looking things up, using instead of Google, doing quick questions, answers, redoing your emails and things like that. The second version costs $20 a month. I do a lot of graphics. The free version only lets you do 2 graphics pictures a day, where the $20 a month I can keep redoing and tweaking as many times as I want. The other version is $200 a month. They suggest to use that by AI developers. It's a little bit cost prohibitive for the majority of us. There are so many AI options out there. As soon as I printed this, it was already obsolete. But just because it's new and good and great doesn't mean you should use it. A new AI came out called DeepSeek. Anybody heard of DeepSeek? Everybody got the warning and said, don't dare use DeepSeek. It's outlawed in over a dozen countries. It is outlawed by the US government for the government facilities. Governor of Virginia told us, don't dare use it. It is a problem with privacy of your data. It is run by a Chinese company, and just don't use it. It's not good. Similar to TikTok, with them outlawing TikTok, and you're wondering where the data is going, same idea. What exactly is ChatGPT? It is a natural language processor. If I said, Jack and Jill went up the hill, exactly. That's the same thing ChatGPT does. It doesn't know what you're saying. It's not a human. It's not really intelligent. It's using a mathematical calculation. Now, when Jack and Jill went up you could have said the store. Could have went to the EAM conference. It could have went anywhere. But you had programmed in for so many years to say hill. That's what ChatGPT does. It does this as a sequence of words, and it's just using math. Now, ChatGPT is growing by leaps and bounds. The chart, how long did it take to reach 1 million users? Netflix, it took 3.5 years. Twitter, 2 years. Instagram, 76 days. ChatGPT, when it was released in 2022, took 5 days to reach 1 million users. If you're not using it yet, well, why not? You're behind. Let me give you a little background, some definitions. Artificial intelligence, there is artificial intelligence. ChatGPT is not. It's a division of artificial intelligence because it's generative, i.e. ChatGPT is a chatbot. And hallucinations. You may have heard sometimes ChatGPT gets things wrong. They have fondly called them hallucinations. What can you do with ChatGPT? Why should you use it? Did you ever have to explain quantum physics to a 6-year-old? You can go into ChatGPT, say, hey, explain it. You're looking for birthday party ideas for your 10-year-olds? You can ask it to plan the party. You want to go to Hawaii? Give me an itinerary. It can plan your vacations for you. It does remember what you said. So if I went into my account right now and I said, create a resume for me, everything that I ever put in, it will put into that resume for me. It has been trained to decline inappropriate requests. I don't know if anybody played with ChatGPT in 2022. That's how I got into it. I read an article that said, ooh, you can ask it anything and it will tell you. Being the wise guy that I can be sometimes, I said, okay, tell me how to make crack and how to smuggle it. Boom, I got the answer. It no longer does that. It will decline that request. But when it first came out, there was no filter, so you could ask it anything. Another good question, how will AI take over the world? They will still give you the answer, but they have toned it down saying, oh, you need to have human intervention. It didn't say that in 2022. ChatGPT was step 2 for AI to take over the world. Just saying. When you're talking to it, you may think it's conversational. You may think you're talking to a person. It has no common sense. It's not really a person. It used to be it had no current events, but now ChatGPT will go out to the internet and respond. So if I ask who won the Super Bowl, it was only a couple weeks ago, it will go out to the internet and tell me who won the Super Bowl. It was the Eagles, in case you don't know. Go Philly. Anyway. What can ChatGPT do for me? It can do anything you want. It's only limited by your imagination. Do you need to do a presentation? Do you need to do a speech? Do you need to analyze a lot of data? This is a computer. If you're looking for anomaly in a whole set of records, you can run it through ChatGPT and it will find your anomaly for you. Like this, longer than you going bleary-eyed trying to go through the data to find something that's wrong. It can write code for you. You can ask it how to negotiate a raise, how to write my resume, how would you talk to somebody like this? You want to plan your time, your schedules. It could do anything. You just have to ask it. It's like your own personal assistant. But when you're dealing with ChatGPT, wording matters. Do you remember in school you had to have who, what, where, when, and why? With ChatGPT, you need to be specific. You have to have some content in there. You need to tell them the format that you want the answer, and you need to give it some constraints, or else it'll give you an answer like this. I can't emphasize it enough. Do not put confidential information in there. Samsung. Everybody's heard of Samsung? Some designers put in their proprietary information, asked ChatGPT to look at it. The next day, everybody else was seeing the proprietary information. It is a hive mentality. Any Trekkies in here that know Borg? Same idea. Once one person knows, everybody knows. Once ChatGPT knows, if anybody asks a similar question, it will provide your information. I suggest you don't really use your name. If you want to put your company information in, change it from your name of your company to just the word company. That way nothing specific is going out about your company. So we need to be specific. So if I want to do a training guide for my field technicians, I would ask something extremely specific, like write a step-to-step training guide for field technicians on how to use asset management system for tracking and maintaining wastewater utility equipment. Sorry, I work for wastewater. So if you're real specific, it will give you specific answers. You need to provide some content. Imagine me. I'm a 150-pound man. Beach is only 3 months away, so I need to get buff for the beach. So if I say, tell me how I can get buff in 3 months, it's going to give me dietary plans. It's going to give me too much information, more information I could possibly digest. So I need to bring some content in to be a little bit more specific. I need to do it in 3 months. I can only go to the gym twice a week for 1 hour. Can you give me a training plan? Of course, it will give you a training plan. That's exactly what you asked. But you need to tell it how you wanted to give it the training plan. It gave me a table. It gave me bullet points. If you wanted a spreadsheet where you can sign with different exercises, so you write down your dates, you tell it exactly how you want it. It can put it in any format that you want. Is that not cool? Be excited, come on. So constraints. Just say I want to write a letter to somebody. I wanted it professional and polished. It would give me a professional letter. If I want to write a sympathy letter, I could. If I want to be youthful and upbeat, just say I'm trying to get with the latest generation and attract attention from them. It's going to give me maybe some buzzwords in there, something upbeat. It will give you inspirational. Other languages. Does anybody have around the world, different countries? People, English is a second language. It's a perfect translator. I was sitting in a room with at least a half a dozen people whose English was their second language. No matter which country, whether it was Ukraine, Spain, Brazil, and even different flavors of Spanish, it translated perfectly. Would they not be impressed if you could put posters up in multiple languages to make sure everybody could read it? You can change the word and character limit. So I said, okay, War and Peace is entirely too long to read. Explain to me War and Peace in 4 sentences. It did. Granted, I missed a whole lot of the book, but I got the gist of the War and Peace. It can be audience specific, whether I'm presenting for a lot of asset managers, if I'm presenting for the C-suite, if I'm presenting for the people at the plants. It can tailor my presentation to my audience. Time and era constraints, that's kind of cool. So if I wanted to say, tell me what everybody thought of Abraham Lincoln in 1800, it would give me 1800. And if I say, what did everybody think of Abraham Lincoln in 2020? It will tell me what everybody thought, because people's change in thoughts change over time. So this will give you an historical perspective. Once again, you're only limited by what you can ask it. So for fun, I said, I want a poem about asset management in the style of Silverstein. Everybody knows him from Under the Stairs, right? Okay, there once was a wrench, all shiny and bright. It vanished one day. Oh, what a fright. Without it, the plant was a terrible mess. So now we track tools to avoid such distress, because we lost little bolts and caused big regrets. Okay, you may not want to write a poem, but just think, if you get mad at your spouse, you can ask it to write a love poem and throw their name in there. You can write in the style of Stephen King. But another thing you can do, if you have a document that you have, and you wanted to write a research paper, and you wanted to make it sound, I'm not advocating plagiarism, but if you have a document that you've written, you can ask it to write a research paper in the style of your writing. It will sound exactly like you wrote it. And then, of course, you're going to tweak it to make it your own. Putting that in there, just putting that out. It will write emails. So I'm very abrupt. I'm IT. I'm really short and to the point. I'm not a flowery person. So if I put out an email, I'm going to say, hey, we're doing audits next week. Make sure everything's really good. We want to do better than last year. That's going to come across wrong. So if I put that into ChatGPT and I say, make this sound better, improve it for me, it's going to say, hey, our audit team kicks off next week. We're going to do better than next year. Please take a moment to organize and properly place so we can keep our efficiency going. And it's a really nice letter, much better than I could have written. Doesn't that sound nice? Everybody could improve their IQ and their relations with their employees. So you can summarize with ChatGPT. Just say your boss says, hey, I need you to read this article, this article, this article, and this article. You're saying, oh, I don't have time to do that. I can't even read one. You can put the article into ChatGPT. You can cut and paste, or you can point to the URL and say, give me the 5 key points. Combine all 3 together. Give me an idea. Summarize it. You can get it done like that. You can say how long you want it. You want it to be. You want it 3 sentences, 4 sentences. You want an executive summary that you can send out to people. It's up to you. Like I said, you're only limited by your imagination. So I put in a URL. This was the current trends of asset management in 2025. It's an extremely long article, and it came out, what's going on? AI-powered decision-making is number 2 for 2025. Get on board with AI. But it saves so much time. For example, you need to write an SQL query. You're not really good at SQL. You're not sure what to do. So you could say, write an SQL program using the R5 events table and put in your parameters. It will create a query. I did a really simple example. And I know everybody knows how to find the fields by going to Screen Designer, right, and find the field names. If not, ask me later. I'll show you how to do it. But you can write a query. You can put this into your Flex. You can put this any place you need to. You can run it under SQL Developer. May I suggest, before you put it into production, you test it someplace neutral. You don't want to take down the system. I do a lot of graphics. So part of my job is security awareness. I teach people, don't click. So I needed to create a lot of posters, which is what ChatGPT is wonderful for. I asked it to create a poster to remind people to track their tools. ChatGPT is great with the graphics, not so good with the words. So what I did is I recently had a campaign last Christmas about telling people, don't click. So I created my posters in ChatGPT, and then I went to Canva, and all I did was pop words in there. Normally, it would take me a week to create a poster. I created these in 1 hour each. Everybody thought I had outsourced them. ChatGPT will not violate copyrights. Although that looks like the Grinch, it is not the actual Grinch. Wicked is not actually wicked, and you can get the idea that that is Die Hard. Took me an hour per poster. Is that not a time saver? Wow. And it made me look good. But you don't even have to do, you can do fun things. I asked it to do a Rube Goldberg mousetrap. And hey, Eagles crushing Kansas City. Woo. Imagine putting that in the wall of your office. Football, basketball, whatever season that you want. The young gentleman who was here before, he said, that's really great. I could put that on the back of a t-shirt and make big bucks. There is no copyright violation. Nobody really owns that design. I don't own it because I didn't create it. ChatGPT doesn't really own it. It's out there, freeware. So I asked my favorite asset management person, what could she use ChatGPT for? And she said, well, although they have a report for this, she could use it looking through parts, finding duplicates, and then sending an email to people to say, clean up the duplicates. I got that right, Jamie? All right. So I said, ChatGPT, how do I do this? So it created a Python script for me. I could download all the parts in a CSV file, run the Python script against it. It would find the duplicates, and then it would send an email. There's a Python class tomorrow if you're interested in Python. But it was very easy. I didn't have to do anything. It automatically generated for me. There's another section of ChatGPT called ChatGPT where you can set up your own little area for things. You can create a virtual help desk. You fill in the information that you want. So you can have a help desk just for your people to say, okay, I'm not trying to compete with Hexagon. Just saying, this is just a regular thing. So you can put this up there, and you can put it out to your people. You can say, like this field, you want it to be ABC. You could create ChatGPT to type in exactly what you want. You could also put in training. And I know somebody who was trying to teach their child math during COVID. They created a training program using ChatGPT, and they put a help desk kind of environment up so they could be trained. But just imagine, you could do this for onboarding. If you want your staff to learn this, you can create your own little environment, where they have to go through this step, this step, this step, and be very sequential. Option, it takes time. Make sure you know what you're teaching them. So when you write your prompts, the whole thing is prompts. Be specific. Test multiple ones. If it doesn't work this way, try this way. Tweak it this way. Be concise. Try different varieties, different words. Test and redefine and reiterate. Once you have a really good prompt, save it so you can use it again. Share it with others. In fact, there's a whole Facebook site that is nothing but prompts. You're not excited. This stuff's cool. Okay, it's not all unicorns, roses. There's a lot of plagiarism and cheating. I could generate a report for school, turn it in. Nobody's going to really know, except now there are programs that can check for ChatGPT and other AI. The idea is use ChatGPT as your basics and then blossom from there. Put in your own tweaks and ideas. ChatGPT was created 4 years ago. It scraped and clawed through the entire internet. It pulled stuff that it should not have. It pulled copyrighted material. It pulled private material. But it clawed every place in the entire world. Consequently, you have racism, sexism, and bias in there. Just the way people are, the reflection of people. Sometimes it's not accurate. Did y'all hear about the 2 lawyers who went to court and said, here are the cases. I'm citing these 2 cases for my case. The judge looked at them. They did not do their homework. The 2 cases that they pulled from ChatGPT were non-existent. The judge was less than happy. They're written up in the paper all around the world. Imagine the embarrassment. Anything that you use for research, check, check, check. Just because it's written in ChatGPT doesn't mean it's right. There's no privacy. Anything you put in there can go out everywhere. Here's a couple corporate disasters. McDonald's used AI for ordering. People were very confused. They had no idea what they were doing. New York City had a chatbot. It encouraged users to use food that was bitten on by rats, breaking the law, all different kinds of ways. Not a good idea. What else do we have? The airlines, Air Canada, had to pay damages. A gentleman said, hey, he got the chatbot, how can I get bereavement rates? And the chatbot said, hey, just buy the regular tickets and submit it. Air Canada said no, and they said, I got proof. So they got rid of their chatbot. One of the bad or the worst cases is Zillow. Zillow had this really good side business going on. They used chatbot to analyze it. Sadly, their chatbot that they set up moved the decimal point. What looked like it was not profitable was actually profitable. They closed it down and they lost a whole lot of business. Check, check, check some more. So what should you do? Here you go. You have a chatbot, you have all these ideas. I would learn to write prompts. That is where the future is. I don't know if you remember when, you probably don't, when computers came out, everybody said computers were going to put everybody out of work. They didn't. But the people who learned computers were the ones that moved ahead and kept their jobs. The same thing with ChatGPT and AI. The ones in the future that are going to hold their jobs and keep on moving forward are going to know how to use the tools available like ChatGPT and AI. Learn prompts specific to your industry. We've all been together for this conference. We could swap good prompts on asset management. Track your good prompts, track what works, share with others. AI is not going to replace jobs, but it will change the nature of your jobs. Does anybody have, oops, my little question mark disappeared. Does anybody have any questions, or is there anything you would like to play or try with ChatGPT? Hi.
Maintenance plan or checklist or schedule for 50 horsepower US motor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Either a task instruction or checklist to service a 50 horsepower US motor.
Okay, I'm not that, you know what? Okay, you want a task list? Oh, who knew? Where'd it go? I have that there. It's up. Well, let me write it, let me type it in a while. You wanted a task list?
Either a task plan or task instructions to service a US 50 horsepower US motor.
I can kick it. Task plan to service?
50 horsepower US motor.
Our US. Did I kick something? Pressure's on.
Can I duplicate it? Or did you want him to extend it?
I don't care. You can duplicate it.
Right there, good?
Yep. Okay, so I was playing a little bit earlier with ChatGPT. I was playing with ChatGPT and Dylan. He wanted a Clemson poster. Didn't like the words, we recreated it without words. All right. Let me spell motor correct. Okay, I hope I have this right. It says task plan to service a 50 horsepower US motor. There's the. It also can read user's manuals. If you have those manuals that come with your equipment, if it's online, you could ask it to give it the maintenance schedule, and it will go through and give you the maintenance schedule.
And will I just ask a very similar question in that hexagon session prior to? And that's coming. Okay, that's awesome.
That's it. Would you like to tailor the plan for a specific application? It asks you to do what you know. It always asks, do you want more or are you happy with the answer? So, so it starts with the pre-service preparation, inspection and testing. I'm sorry, it's not very bright.
Okay, so then Jackie, my question is, you said, once you ask the question, now how do we know that's the answer? When you said test and test this, you don't know if it's always going to be right. Now, how would John find out if that's right or not?
How would I know that that's right?
If you had a specific user's manual, you could link to the user's manual, and you could bring that in there.
Can I just share my example? I don't remember the exact example, but I used ChatGPT once when I was trying to get the SQL code correct for an inbox for a query. And I was just, she was not available that day. Jackie's usually my go-to about SQL codes against. And I just plugged it into ChatGPT, but I was missing one element of it, and it spit back exactly what I needed. And I tested it in our training or testing environment before I put it into production, and it worked.
Do you have to do it with the table name and stuff through?
Yeah, I put in like a partial code, and I was like, I need to join these two tables, and it did exactly that. I tested it, and it worked.
It works with everything. Now, Bryce just gave you an example with Excel. Bryce, would you like to talk about your example with Excel?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so I was just telling her that I did an Excel spreadsheet and I needed to filter, it's like 300 rows. So I need to filter on basically a specific value inside a column. So for instance, like this column, it says, giraffes or something. For every single column that says giraffes, I need you to put all those rows together at the bottom. So I just, I only need those 30 out of the 300. And so it basically she created that formula for me, the filter formula, and then I just threw it in and spit it out.
Thank you, Bryce. I put you on the spot. Sorry.
Yeah, I used it to make a graded chart for a Six Sigma project, and it did everything for me, and I just followed directions, and I gave it to the Excel to use it for Excel.
I'm curious as to, amongst the group, how many, either from a company policy or from an IT policy, how many of your companies have said, hey, you can't use this, or you have to use this particular one? Or we can't use any of the,
We have an internal Veolia GPT.
okay. And it's, we're going through this filter. Have you seen any adjustments to things like employee handbooks or guidelines that remind you that this is still your work, not something that you can blame later on? You're the one that's getting blamed, not ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever.
They are doing it as a policy, but since our internal is linked to all of our resources and libraries, it's really just our guidelines with corporate policies that it's giving you information on.
Is that common? Or have you seen it? Or have you not seen much of that?
It's a shame.
Like all the employees have to go through, before or whatever, so that they know what not to put in and that kind of stuff, but other than that, that's all we've gone through.
I think it's going to change in the future as people are getting more familiar and more used to AI. The knee-jerk reaction is don't use it because they read some of the propaganda, the information, and the misinformation. But as time goes on, this is an important tool. In fact, any computer systems you buy in the future, you should have an AI component into those, or else the computer or the software is going to be obsolete. AI is the future. It is coming. And the sooner you learn how to use that tool, the better you're going to be. Like I said, it's fantastic. One thing, when I do emails, I don't speak really well. When I type, I'm very short. But the longer the email I put in, the better results I get back. It also writes policies for me. I had to, anybody know what pig butchering is? No, not killing pigs. It's recently Valentine's Day. That's where people lure you in, said, I love you, can you send me some money? So I recently had to put something out to my company really fast since it was Valentine's Day. I asked it to create a do and don't list. It turned out fantastic, except my manager made me take something out. It put a line in there that says, true love takes a long time. You're not going to find it on 2 dates. They said, no love advice coming from IT. But I went through, I tweaked it, put a couple graphics in there. It looked fantastic. It saved me so much time. Like I said, for policy writing, for anything, it's a great shell as opposed to sitting there, how many times have you sat there and looked at a blank screen and said, oh, I need to write something and I don't know what to do or where to start? ChatGPT will give you an idea of where to start. In the future, if you want to start businesses, it will give you business idea. It will give you business plans. It will tell you how to get the money.
What letter rate to make that available in the sector sport?
Let's see.
I want, instead of being just a word form, I want to be a checklist. So I create a checklist inside that. Is that what it is? Here again, I have this is my head's like,
You are the EAM expert. I doubt you would. Do you want me to put it into a table? Which?
Yes and no. So a checklist on an import template, yes, you can do that as long as you know how to use that import template.
I do all the time.
Hmm?
This would save you sitting there writing out 20 scripts.
Right, right.
I'm not sure what that is.
You know,
Like if you're just going to put it to a route versus the equipment header, stuff like that.
Jackie, can you email that to John?
So, the idea is to work smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah, but it gets a little too wordy sometimes. My boss used our internal and ChatGPT, but he wasn't supposed to. It's doing a description, 4 pages. And there's a lot of repeated stuff on it.
You can say, please output this in 2 pages. You need to tell it how you want to see it.
Yeah, I think we all have to go through and just revise everything.
But if anybody would like to try anything or think of something later, I am here all day. I'll be happy to help you. Does anybody have any questions? Anything else they want to try? No? It's very cool. Why aren't we using it all, right? Even though you missed your SQL class, you could put the SQL in there.
Yeah, you gotta always follow it up. Like you said, you can't just use it.
You don't want to do a delete all from table.
Right.
Archive objects.
Hopefully your DBA has that protected. All right, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.